Hello, we're Nerds of the West, and today we are teaching you how to play Evolution: Another World. This is a new version of the Evolution board game series, though if you're familiar with that, there are quite a few changes. There is no death in this game, there's nothing going wrong in this game. You are basically just building the best creatures, the best mythical, magical creatures you can with some upgrade cards. Before we get into all the rest of the details, we have a Reese.
Raw!
We have a Chris.
Yar!
My name is Tom. I do have to say that this game was sent to us by the lovely folks at Crowd Games. Crowd Games? It's a hard one to know. One day they might actually tell me what they like to be known as. This game. The aim of the game is to transmute 3 creatures. You have a lovely collection of magical, mystical creatures who all look like this. Magical, mystical creatures that all look like this little reptile here, but by giving them different abilities, we are making them unique, making them stronger, and eventually getting multiple pieces of energy onto them. Once they have 4 energy onto them, they are ready to transmute. The first person to transmute 3 creatures with full energy wins the game immediately. But to get there, we're going to be taking actions in a series of rounds. At the start of each round, we're going to get a new energy source that will look something like this. You put a number of energy on it equal to the number of players. Reese, how many players are we playing with today?
We are playing with 3 players, so that means we put on 4 energy crystals.
But also,
we put on an additional 2, which are only accessible by fearsome creatures, which we will explain shortly.
And then you take turns one at a time from the first player, which has this first player marker. And this is a good time to point out that we are playing with the special edition of the game. So we have some extra big wooden markers and an extra few other things that look a bit prettier, but the game will play exactly the same. We are not playing with any expansion stuff when we do the playthrough section of our stream that you can watch on YouTube in the future, if you're watching this at some point in the future. So on your turn, you then have the choice of 3 actions, 2 of which are optional and 1 of which you have to do every single turn. Your first choice is that you can play a face down card from your hand to begin as a new creature. All creatures are face down and they look exactly the same. They look like this. Big reptile boys. Your other choice is to take one of the cards in your hand and play it as one of its 2 sides, either the top or the bottom side of the upgrade cards. You can choose which side that you want it to go on, and you slide it underneath the reptile that you have already played so that the face you are using is visible. You get a nice little bit of art, you get the words of the ability that you now have, and you'll be able to use that in the future when you take the third and final action, which is mandatory, which is activate. To activate a creature, you choose one of your non-sleeping creatures, and you have 4 choices for what you can do. You can either gain 1 energy from the source to put that on said activated creature. The source being the card that is in the middle, not the supply in there. So we would take it from over here and put it onto our creature. We can transmute if our creature has all 4 energy on it. That means we have to take an action to transmute it, thereby discarding all of that creature, every single card we have put under it, and put that into the discard pile in the middle of the table, and take one of the big, in this case, wooden tokens. If you're playing with the basic game, they are just cardboard. Take one of those. If you are taking the third one, you immediately win the game. When you choose to take the attack action, you choose one of the other creatures on the table that can be yours or somebody else's, because in this game, unlike other Evolution games, you aren't going to be killing any creatures, you're just going to be stealing or getting rid of their energy. Most attack actions will let you take an energy from the supply and then give you some kind of bonus based on the attack action that you take. You only ever take 1 attack action, but if your creature has multiple attack abilities, you can activate each of those abilities. Reading the card will explain the card, and that applies to a lot of this game where there are a lot of abilities that will change the rules of the game, such as Tiny, where instead of needing to have 4 energy counters, that creature will only need 3. So if you read the vampire card, it will say this creature make the target lose 1 energy, and if it does, it then gets to take an energy from the supply Once your attack is done, your creature is forced to go to sleep. You have to take a sleep action, and this is just a balance reason to make sure that you can't attack multiple times in a turn. And the fourth action is to sleep. If you do not want to or cannot take any other action, you have to then take the sleep action, by which you take the sleep token, which is a bunch of lovely little fairy dragons, put it onto your creature. That creature is now sleeping and cannot be activated for the rest of the round. However, it can still be attacked by other players. All of its defense is still up though, even though it's asleep, it can still defend from attacks. When everyone's creatures, all creatures on the board are sleeping, that ends the round. You discard the energy source. At the start of each round, everybody gets to draw 2 cards plus an additional card for every creature that they have that has at least 1 energy on it. And then you have the choice to discard your entire hand to draw up to that many cards if you've accidentally drawn a terrible hand. That is the basics of Evolution in Another World.
Cool.
You are taking actions until somebody wins the game. We're now going to play it through, so if you're more of a visual learner, you can learn alongside us as we play this game and try and make the best creatures that we can. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for Boardgames for sending this out to us, and we will catch you next time.